What's up? I wanna do a video talking about a little bit more in depth about like mental health. I want to talk about bad parenting too, because just like a couple of days ago, it took me a while to get around doing the video, but a couple of days ago, I had seen a reaction video by Bruhmantv. Shout out to him. Um, he had reacted to like it was this story about this mother and her mom, and the girl started talking to some boy or whatever. Um, the mom had wanted to talk to him. The boy had claimed he was trying to put the mom on with his dad, but then he started talking to the mom, and the mom started talking sexual. She convinced the boy to leave the daughter for her, and it's different stuff like that. And she was saying all this stuff about, oh, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna talk to who I want to. This, that, and the third, right? And then like the family started coming at the daughter for exposing it and putting the family out there. And I want to speak on stuff like that because I know what it's like to have toxic and dysfunctional family and to be raised by children as parents. And it frustrates me because a lot of people like see these stories and then when you tell them about it, it's like they can't process the fact that not everybody mother was loving, not everybody had a good dad, but and I don't think that it's the fact that people can't process the stories because we process it when we see it online or on TV or in these movies and we identify that those as real, but a lot of times it just seems like we're ill prepared, like we don't want to deal with other people's problems because they're not ours, right? But it's really the fact that nobody prepared us how to be human. Like nobody prepared us to look after one another, and everybody became cold because like the people that needed help, right, messed motherfuckers up so bad and done so much shady stuff that it rubbed off on them. Don't let that energy rub off on you. Like still do your soul mission, still do your divine life purpose, still be loving. Just know who you can be loving towards. Like don't just let it go. You know. I remember when I was in trade school, I had a similar incident. I had this little friend that was asking me about advice on his mom because his mom was hating on him. Like he was on he was a smart dude. He was like engineering, like welding helmets to have Wi-Fi and watch porn and all this kind of shit. Like when you genius, you're a little mischievous too. Um, he was he was a wild dude, but he was good people though. And it was like his mom was trying to infringe on his life. And one thing I noticed, I'm gonna speak on like the bad parenting. So a lot of because I had issues like that with my mom, like with my people. Like my dad was trying to like size me up and stuff like that because he felt intimidated. And like my mom too. Like when I started gaining size and muscle and working out, my mom was all like, "Oh, who he is, thinking he's stronger than me," different stuff like that. When you hear stuff like that, disengage. Like I know it makes you want to be like, "Oh, I can do this, I can do that." Trust me, bro. Like this coming from someone that threatened his dad like for because of abuse. This is a dude that lost his mind and finally snapped on like his mom and you know like his stepdad and other motherfuckers from years of abuse. And I know it makes you want to crash out. I crashed out plenty of times, but all in all, it's never worth it. You know, it's like if you can try to like if you can avoid that, try to avoid it, right? But I don't know. Maybe you got to go through it how I went through it. Cause I ain't gonna lie. I had moments where where shit just happened. Like I didn't even feel like I had control over it. It's almost like I blacked out and I just remember parts of it. And I feel like if you like that, it's like yeah, you gotta get help. But like I ain't gonna lie. If you at that point like whatever hardship you're going through, it's probably to teach you a lesson. Because I know when I went to the army, it was to break down all the abuse and toxicity that my family had bestowed upon me. Like some of us have parents that aren't fully developed. Like prime example, like my mom. My mom always tried to jump in my business with my friends and try to get me to break up like with my friends and not have good relationships with my sisters. And then when I didn't, it's like she will fault me for it, saying how I was mean and I was this and I was that. And it's all because she didn't grow up having friends. You feel what I'm saying? She didn't grow up having people care about her, asking for her to come to the door, like really sincerely excited to be around her. It's like she didn't have the attributes that I have. A lot of times when people just start attacking you, you got to look at your life in comparison to theirs, and not from your eyes, but from they stance, like their perspective. Because when you look at it through your eyes, it's not gonna make sense because you're not them. You know what I'm saying? You're not them to see it how they see it or to feel what they feel, right? It's like pay attention to how they treat you and how they how they say things, right? And once you start trying to like see it from their point of view, like things are gonna become clear. You see, you living your life, doing your own thing. Like you can be productive over here, and people get mad at that over here, and you may not understand that. But when you really think about it, it's like not like I'm gonna tell you the truth behind everything. Like not everybody. Like, this is the matrix. Not everybody is sent here to be an individual like you and to handle things. They're not. You know what I'm saying? Like some people's whole purpose of being here is just being who they are. That's being a distraction. That's putting people through things that they went through and shit like that. Like some people are put here just to be obstacles for you because they're made to teach people lessons. Those are the people that we call bots. Their only purpose is to cause chaos because that's what the order of things allow, because you have to experience both sides of things. You have to experience the bad so you can understand what that's like and have that change you, right? And so you can appreciate the good more. And it's also lessons in the good. Like you have to learn from both aspects, right? That's why you have crazy people and that's why you have good people. And a lot of people can't handle the truth when they look into the abyss. They can't handle, like a lot of people don't have the mental capacity or like the shielding from guides like to handle that, so they go crazy, right? When you a chosen one like us, right? When you are sent here from your ancestors, from your spiritual family, when you actually have ties to the spiritual realm, right? Like you can look in it and be shielded because your guides will be there with you, like every step of the way. Not everybody has that, right? Because that's just not how the algorithm works. Like you're not gonna learn much if everybody was on the same accord. You get what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of times we don't meet people that's exactly like us on like that stay with us on our path. Like you'll bump into them, but they never stay because they'll hinder your journey and they have their own journey, right? But a lot of times, like getting back to topic, a lot of times like your people will look at you and they'll feel like that you're way different, that you always had a difference in you that they can't reach, right? And it's like you can excel and grow and get there, and they don't have that same thing in them to get there. So what ends up happening is, right? They end up trying to keep you down for as long as they can because they know that you're the highlight of their life and you're going places, right? You're gonna soar and be up there, and then they're gonna be down here with everybody else that's just like them, steaming because they remember when you wasn't shit. And that's why like you can leave your situation, but it always follows you because you're gonna always have haters that's gonna remind you like, hey, you wasn't shit. I remember when we used to share beds and you used to piss on yourself. I remember when you used to have to steal clothes. Remember when your mom didn't buy you shit? Remember when your mom came outside and whooped you in front of everybody for having fun? Like you gonna have people that's gonna like if you have somebody, I'm gonna just tell you certain signs. Like if you have somebody that's constantly trying to bring you down and be negative, and and you unsure about them because they act like they don't understand what they're doing. They understand what they're doing. What you have is a secret hater, right? You have someone that know they can't fuck with you, so they hate on you and they feel threatened by you, but they don't want to just come straight out and say it because they fuck with the advantages of having you around. And it's because they know that if they wanted smoke, they would lose, right? So what they're gonna do is they're gonna get close to you to jeopardize you from the inside, right? And then like I'm just telling you what things are because when you understand things on a more clear level, you can handle it on a better level. You hear what I'm saying? Because I got bullied and ridiculed and I exiled like all my life by my family, and it was because of them that it made me do stuff by myself because nobody else was gonna help me. Nobody else cared. So I know that if I really wanted this to happen, I would have to put it I would have to put it in place for it to happen, and then I would have to work on it. You get what I'm saying? Like it instilled a difference in me. You get what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of times, like the people in our life that put us through those hardships, they don't expect us to overcome. They be expecting us to do the traditional thing that they're used to everybody else doing and succumb to the stuff that they succumb to. So when you overcome those things, you're not thinking about it like that, right? Because you're not getting set up. And that's what they're banking on. They're banking on setting you up and doing you in ways that you don't expect because you don't think like that, right? So they're expecting you to crumble and for them not to get caught. So when you do come out on top, it's kind of like what the fuck like because you had all the odds against you and they didn't see a way out for you because they couldn't make it, right? It all just comes down to that spirit of envy. It's in human nature for humans to always desire and be curious about what they don't have, right? As my human experience, right? My human experience is going to want to make me understand what it's like to be you. Your human experience may make you want to understand what it's like to have some of the things I have, and vice versa with other people. You get what I'm saying? Like we always going to like desire like what we see that we don't have, right? But to combat that is like you have to be fulfilled and satisfied in your own life and working towards your own progression of being better, right? Because as soon as you take your mind off of being better, you stuck. And now you got time to look around and compare and be miserable because of the lack thereof. So I don't know. I hope this helped. I know I did a lot of rambling, but I know that a lot of us dealing with toxic people, we dealing with toxic parents. Like what I would say is try to always rise above them situations. Always look for like the lesson, especially when you bump your heads going through stuff. Like one of the lessons that I learned is that if like just the minimize mess and stress, if you're not ready to face something, don't put it in the atmosphere. Don't tell nobody because as soon as you tell a soul, like they got that information to do whatever they want with it, right? You can't get that energy and that information back, but what you can do is protect it so like stuff like that don't fluster and go out of control. You get what I'm saying? Like prime example, I don't know if y'all realize it, but I got a do rag on, but I was known for having a flat back of the head, right? And my dad made fun of me for it. Like my dad was the only person to make fun of me for that and call me out, and that was something I was always insecure about. But I never said anything about it or made a big deal because I didn't want people making fun of me on something that can actually hurt my feelings, right? All the other jokes was like whatever, right? And he used to say that I had a head like my mom, and that's the reason my mind fucked up is because like my head and my brain didn't fully develop because the back of my head is pushed in, so it didn't allow for me to actually like grow into who I need to be, right? And he was a hater, right? R.I.P. to him, but it was like stuff like that really hurt me. And I remember when I told my sister about that or whatever, she was like, "Oh, I never knew that. I didn't know this, and that. I never da da da." And I'm like, "Yeah, like you wasn't gonna know," because she was one of the main people I would hide my insecurities from too, because she would dog my shit. Like she would hurt my feelings. Like she is a spitting image of my dad. So it's just like in every aspect. So it's like I had to hide who I really was from my people. Like when I got ran off the block, you know what I'm saying? Like niggas trying to rob me. When I got jumped by my homies. Like when I took losses out there, I had to hide it from my family. Like all my life because and that's why they didn't know who I was because when they did know who I was, they only used it against me. Like sometimes you got to protect yourself against your own blood. Like we don't all have the same humble beginnings, and if somebody can't understand that, then they're already against you. So you should not treat them like an enemy, but stop the conversation right there and just let it be what it is. Because I've been in situations like that where people would hear like my bad stories and then they just go like spread misinformation about me. You know, I'm trying to get other people not to like me, you know? So I would just say try to protect yourself, Like just analyze the situation, like look at the situation from a different perspective and try to like understand it. I'm not saying like harmonize with it and become one with it, but try to understand it enough to know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like take a take an unbiased step back and just look at it for what it really is and just be like, oh, okay. It's like what you're saying is that you're upset because you feel like I'm leaving you and you feel left behind because I'm doing so much and you don't have that same dog in you, right? But instead of saying that, just try to like comfort them and be encouraging as you go and do your thing. And if you got to cut them off, it's about your peace and your growth. You know, just do it in a loving, peaceful way. That's all I can tell you, bro. Stay spiritual, bro. Stay high vibration. I don't really know how to end this stuff off, but we ending it off. Earth got that your YY in me.